Good evening and welcome to the week in 30 minutes. The English News Department has prepared a variety of reports that highlight the main events recently taking place throughout Kuwait. Our committed team of correspondents kept busy on the streets of Kuwait, searching for stories that are currently at the forefront of the news.
Today's episode will shed light on the official opening of the National Library of Kuwait under the patronage of His Highness Sheikh Jaber Mubarak Al Hamad Al Sabah, the Prime Minister. Today's episode also includes a report on the National Day of China and the Chinese community's commemoration of this occasion right here in the state of Kuwait. Another report will take us to the artistic arena featuring a special musical night. We have a lot more in store for you this evening, so let's get started.
From the Sahara Golf Club, this is Sarah Club.
From the Radisson Blue, I'm Gemma Jaburi.
From Al-Sahel Club, this is Salim Kandiri.
From the Scientific Center, this is Heba Abdurrahman.
I'm Badriya Saleh, reporting for The Week in 30 Minutes.
Our first report today comes from correspondent Heba Abdurrahman, who recently visited the National Library of Kuwait, which was officially inaugurated with a celebratory environment and in presence and patronage of His Highness Sheikh Jaber Mubarak Al Hamad Al Sabah, the Prime Minister, and with the attendance of the GCC Ministers of Culture.
Various Kuwaiti organizations participated in the ceremony of the National Library, with booths showcasing rare books, scripts, and maps. Other booths included books about the history of Kuwait, old Islamic books, early Holy Qur'ans, Arabic poetry, formative arts, stamps, letters, as well as old Kuwaiti and Arabian Gulf books. Let's watch Hiba's report.
The National Library of Kuwait witnessed its official opening in an event attended and held under the patronage of His Highness the Prime Minister, Sheikh Jaber Mubarak Al Hamad Al Sabah. This ceremony was also attended by several ministers, including First Deputy Premier and Foreign Minister Sheikh Subah Al Khalid Al Hamad Al Sabah, State Minister for Cabinet Affairs and Acting Minister of Justice Sheikh Muhammad Al Abdullah Sabah, Information Minister, State Youth Minister, and President of the National Council for Culture, Arts and Letters Sheikh Salman Subah Salim Mahmoud Al Sabah. Also, the visiting Gulf Cooperation Council Chief Abdul Latif Al Zayani was attending, in addition to GCC heads of culture and media bodies and many academics and local literary personalities in the country. The opening of the library forms part of the nation's cultural development plans conducted under the directions of His Highness the Emir Sheikh Subah Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah, His Highness the Crown Prince, and His Highness the Prime Minister. It represents a cultural and human legacy that has traveled through the history of the country. Its contents and database are the result of the Kuwaiti society's culture, thought and art, and it looks forward to cooperate with its counterparts across the Gulf. The event went on to pay homage to local poets, writers, dramatists and artists, past and present, for their outstanding contributions in their respective disciplines, handing those present each with an award. The operational opening ceremony of the National Library of Kuwait today coincided with the 20th preparatory meeting of the GCC Ministers of Culture that recently took place in the country. From the National Library of Kuwait, this is Heba Abdurrahman reporting for The Week in 30 Minutes.
As part of the government's plan to develop and enhance the media sector in the country, the Minister of Information and Minister of State for Youth Affairs, Sheikh Salman Subah Salim Mahmoud Al Sabah, inaugurated a new radio broadcasting building at the South Sabahiyya neighborhood. The station operates the state-of-the-art technology in radio broadcasting.
This new building is considered an important step in developing the media sector in the country. At the same time, and according to officials at the Ministry of Information, a new broadcasting center will be opened in Al Sabbiya area shortly. Hiba Abdurrahman has more details in the following report.
Minister of Information and Minister of State for Youth Affairs, Sheikh Salman Subah Salim Al Sabah, inaugurated a new radio broadcasting building at South Sabahiyya in neighborhood 32 kilometers south of Kuwait City. The project, which costs 1.15 million Kuwaiti dinar, is a big step forward. It has the state-of-the-art technology in radio broadcasting. The building of the new transmission building is part of the Minister's plan to develop and overhaul all sectors with a view to enhance the role of media in serving the society. In this regard, the Minister said that another broadcasting center would be opened in Subbiya neighborhood next week. A main control center would be also inaugurated in November, as these projects would give a significant impetus to the national media potential. The government offers an unlimited support to national media's capacity building and upgrading efforts and plans. The minister unveiled that the government is putting the final touches on a new legislation to regulate electronic media. The law, which will be referred to the National Assembly shortly, focuses on the electronic media outlets of professional press and TV organizations and companies. However, the posts on social networking sites are not addressed by this law. The minister expressed hopes that a set of ethical criteria would be adopted to avoid the misuse of social media by some people, adding that media is assuming responsibilities towards protection of societies, particularly youth, from the destructive ideologies, extremism, and suspicious groups which threatens the national, Gulf, and Arab security and stability. From Al Sabahiyya area, this is Hiba Abdurrahman reporting for the Week in 30 Minutes.
The Chinese ambassador to Kuwait, His Excellency Cui Tianchun, recently congratulated the Chinese community in Kuwait on his country's 65 years of statehood, saying that the timing complemented the many recent bilateral developments between Kuwait and China.
The two nations established diplomatic relations at the ambassadorial level on March 22, 1971. The cooperative relations between the two countries include the fields of politics, economics, culture, as well as military, an area gaining steady development, especially in recent months. My colleague Badriya Saleh has prepared this special report.
In recognition of 65 years of statehood, the local Chinese community in Kuwait gathered recently to celebrate this joyous occasion and share with the rest of Kuwait a bit of Chinese tradition. His Excellency, China's ambassador to Kuwait, congratulated the rest of his community on his country's National Day and added that it was an honor to celebrate here in Kuwait, so close to the two countries' recent bilateral advancements.
I'm very happy to tell you about the Chinese and the Kuwait relationship that is very, very special now. And in this year, in June, His Highness Prime Minister, during the visit, we have signed 10 agreements. So now these agreements covered energy sector, finance sector, and also about the investment and trade, and also especially that we could leverage both strengths of the two countries, and we could do more complementary things that could benefit Kuwait and China, because Kuwait has special endowment, the special resources. China also is a big market, so the two countries, big country, small country, but we could do more things together.
As a traditional thing, we celebrate our special event, so we get together, sing our national anthem, and raise our national flag, and invite all of our friends from either from China or from Kuwait to get together to celebrate together. Yes, especially I think it's a it's a tradition for us and also for Kuwait. Yes, yes.
This year alone has seen a multitude of examples of the two countries striving to work together to further bilateral ties and relations. This month, the Bank of China held a ceremony to announce and celebrate the opening of its first bank in Kuwait. And this past June, His Highness Sheikh Jabir al-Mubarak al-Hamid al-Sabah, Prime Minister, personally visited Chinese President Xi Jinping, with the two sides agreeing to cooperate in building the economic belt along the Silk Road, push forward negotiation on free trade zones between China and the GCC, and further cooperation in areas of infrastructure, construction, and logistics.
Today really is a very special day for Chinese and also for Kuwait. And the Chinese National Day, we do it every year, but this year is very special. The special thing is that His Highness Prime Minister visited Beijing. This is a very successful and fruitful visit. So we think that this visit really make the Chinese relation with Kuwait reach a new high.
His Excellency the Ambassador reiterated his great appreciation for the already close ties between China and Kuwait and his eagerness to see those ties continue to strengthen.
Thanks to a various display of authentic Chinese food, guests were not only able to congratulate His Excellency the Ambassador on his country's National Day, they were also able to partake and learn a little more about Chinese tradition as well. At the Regency Hotel, I'm Badriya Saleh, reporting for The Week in 30 Minutes.
We will take this opportunity to congratulate the Chinese community in Kuwait on their day of statehood. Up next, as part of Discover America Week, the American Embassy in Kuwait organized a musical performance at the Grand Avenues Mall by the famous band Matuto, which specializes in energetic music full of joy and spirit.
The band's musical genre combines a fusion of jazz and bluegrass. The performance at the Grand Avenues drew a large crowd captured by the intense melodies and rhythms played by the band. Reporter Ghonwa Jabour was there with the following report.
Discover America Week has been keeping audiences busy, engaged and entertained with its active schedule that have included a range of events that suit all tastes and ages. Discover America Week provides society with an opportunity to enjoy a slice of American life, which many are appreciating and admiring. Matuto, an all-American musical band, played their music at the Grand Avenues, which clearly gave the audiences a slice of wonderful American music.
We are a band called Matuto. We're from New York City, and we're here for Discover America Week, sponsored by the U.S. Embassy of Kuwait. We're really honored to be here. It's our first time in any Middle Eastern country, and it's our first time in Kuwait. And we've been here all week conducting workshops and student outreach programs. We appeared on a couple of different media outlets, and we play a style of music we call Brazilian bluegrass, which is a mixture of North and South American musical roots. So it's fun music, and I hope people will come down and check it out because it should be a really good time.
My instrument is percussion, and I play many different instruments. One of them is a Brazilian frame drum called pandeiro, and I play a Brazilian shaker called cachixi, play agogo bells, and a whole bunch of variety of drums.
We're really excited about the show. We're excited to be here in Kuwait, and our music has a lot of energy, so we're going to bring some of that energy here to Avenues tonight. We're really looking forward to it.
The crowds just kept on trickling in once the band began to make beautiful sounds from their instruments. It was then not long before the crowds kept on growing in curiosity to hear the wonderful musical resonating sounds that were a treat many were not expecting.
I think so too, sure. I mean, you know, there's not a lot of, I mean, the ubiquitous phrase that music is a universal language sort of holds true, right? Because you can play and, you know, I don't speak Arabic, you know, but I can definitely communicate with other people, with hand gestures, but also with playing my bass. So.
Well, we hope so. It's a different kind of music that Kuwaitis have been exposed to, so that's what we were hoping to show, the diversity of America and the diversity of our culture and our music. So Matuto Band, we brought them all the way from New York City to play here during Discover America Week. They've been at 360 Mall. Tonight they're at the Avenues, which is fantastic. And they're bringing a little slice of the diversity of American culture to Kuwait during the Discover America Week.
The band's energy, creativity and talent had a beautiful effect on the audience as the ambience that they created was boosting with joy and excitement.
Tonight's live musical performance brought sheer happiness, energy and excitement to the crowds at the Avenues, who have said they just love the performance. From the Grand Avenues, I'm Gena Jabari.
Our gratitude goes out to the U.S. Embassy in Kuwait for organizing such interesting events. We love music here in Kuwait.
Yeah. Now we have a report prepared by our colleague Salim Al-Kandari, who attended a specialized educational event as Kuwait recently hosted the 23rd Ministerial Conference of the Gulf Cooperation Council, which was organized by the Arab Bureau of Education for the Gulf countries.
The Bureau has been seeking development of education policies through 18 programs that cover fields such as education systems, concepts of quality, financing education, assessment of education administration, and organizing training courses and research contests. Let's watch Salim's report.
Every 2 years, the Arab Bureau of Education of the GCC states organizes its conference headed by the educational ministers, aiming furthermore educational development for the region.
This conference is a regular conference that took place every 2 years, and for this year we have the honor in Kuwait to host this conference in its 23rd session in the Ministry of Education and Higher Education. All the ministries are here today for the opening of this session that will take 2 days, today and tomorrow, 21st and 22nd of current October. They will mainly discuss all the educational issues and problems and needs.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Commerce and Industry and Acting Minister of Education and Higher Education, Dr. Abdul Muhsin Mizaj, called for caring for the youth, protecting them against deviant thoughts, and in the meantime inculcating values of national loyalty in their minds.
One of the main objectives of this conference is to share our experiences in the region. No doubt that Gulf countries are advancing in the field of education, and we have many issues that we can share and benefit from each other's experience, so we don't have to repeat what is going on in each and every country. We look forward to that, achieving that objective, and also we are after tuning up our educational policies as we all share the same challenges regarding to what is happening in the region, regarding to the challenges that faces countries' markets currently and the near future.
The conference mainly focuses on on discussing all the educational issues, educational cases, educational needs in the GCC countries, and we are trying to make the environment very comfortable for them to discuss their matters and to reach their results by the end of the conference. They mainly will focus on the youth situation in the GCC countries. We want them to be built with a strong personality, following the values of the ancestors, and that is related to our religion and to our culture. And of course, at the same time, they should be highly prepared for receiving the advanced technology and sciences and all education from the other cultures.
The conference emphasized the importance of promoting Arabic, saying that the 11 programs were devoted to developing policies for teaching the language and qualifying instructors, as well as reinforcing the Arab dimension in education. Participating countries strongly believe in the importance of education for sustainable development. This educational conference is held every 2 years. This time it is held and hosted here in Kuwait. And the general aim of this educational conference is to seek a unified outlook for developing the educational system within the GCC countries. From the GW Marriott, this is Salim Kandiri reporting for the Week in 30 Minutes.
From the Sahara Golf Club, this is Sarah Glub.
From the Radisson Blue, I'm Gemma Jaburi.
From Al Sahel Club, this is Salim Kandiri.
From the Scientific Center, this is Heba Abdurrahman.
I'm Badriya Saleh, reporting for the Week in 30 Minutes.
Our next report, prepared by correspondent Badriya Saleh, will take us again to the artistic arena, as the first Canadian stamps exhibition in Kuwait opened recently at the Ahmed Al Adwani Exhibition Hall in Abdullah Al Salam area.
Under the patronage of the National Council for Culture, Arts and Letters, and in collaboration with the Canadian Embassy in Kuwait, the exhibition was inaugurated. The exhibition included hundreds of pieces from the first beaver stamps circulated back in 1895 to more modern-day depictions.
The first Canadian stamps exhibition recently opened for the first time in Kuwait, a personal collection of Yosef Louis Gohori. The collection marks the change of the country's postage history from the very first beaver postage stamp to the modern-day depiction. This private collection of Canadian stamps showcases the evolution since the very first Canadian stamp, created by Stanford Fleming, featuring the beaver instead of the more commonly seen royal figure.
Well, tonight is a display of Canadian stamps and presented by one of our top Canadian stamp collectors who happens to be resident here in Kuwait. So we've worked tonight together with the National Council for Culture, Art and Literature, our resident Canadian stamp collector and the Canadian Embassy to bring this story, a bit of a story of Canada through stamps to Kuwait. History is told through stamps. Stamps witness the course of history. So it's a wonderful way to have some insight into what has happened in the development of Canada through hundreds of years, in fact. Some of these stamps, the oldest dates back to 1858. A lot has happened in Canada and Kuwait in that time, and this is a small insight into those moments in time.
I started collecting when I was 16 years old, and during the Lebanese Civil War, we moved to Canada as immigrant in 1990, and I was like not a collector. It was a small hobby issue and became a major hobby for me and a passion. And due to the quality of the Canadian stamps, the colors, the designs, and the issues, very limited issues or special issues, and this passion kept on going with me all over the world. Wherever I travel, I carry on it's like a child. My hobby is like one of my child. And I made a good relation with designers, with the with Post. Like I'm a member of the Canada Post, I'm a member of the US Post, I'm a member of the UAE Post, of Kuwait Post, Lebanon Post, Liban Post as well. And I receive issues on daily basis, and I don't know what to do with it. It's stacked all over my house, but it's my passion, and I love it.
Kahori started collecting stamps at the age of 16 while in Lebanon, then turned his hobby into a passion when he moved to Canada in 1990. At the time, he was collecting pieces concentrated mainly on the arts, specifically from Lebanon, Canada, the US, the UAE, and Kuwait.
Actually, due to when you start stacking your collection, you gotta put it in order, either in albums or in a special storage, and this make you be more careful with your collection, because with the time it's like a good investment, because when I was young I have some stamps which is I paid maybe 50 cents or $1, and now it's worth more than $100 or $200. And some stamps, they go up high the sky due to some errors or limited issue, and it becomes like valuable for you, and you cannot just give it away or leave it behind.
The exhibit consists of old letters, souvenir sheets, limited edition framed lithographed prints, as well as joint issues of stamps and coins by the Canada Post and the Royal Canadian Mint, among other pieces. Though this is the first time the collection has been displayed, Kahori says he hopes to take the exhibition around the world before ideally settling the collection in a museum. At the Ahmed Adwani Hall, I'm Badriya Saleh, reporting for The Week in 30 Minutes.
This brings us to the end of tonight's episode of The Week in 30 Minutes. We hope to see you again, same time next week. Our highly dedicated team of correspondents is constantly out on the field searching for reports that matter most to you. We look forward to receiving your feedback on the stories we covered today and are ready to cover issues that are of special interest to you.
So please email us your suggestions at moikuwaitnews@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at moikuwaitnews and on Facebook again at moikuwaitnews. And of course, if you would like to see our reports once again, you can also visit our YouTube channel at moikuwaitnews.
Thank you for joining us tonight, and see you next week with more exclusive reports. Have a good night.
Good night.
هنا الكويت.